Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of The Finishing Blow. Hopefully you guys are having a good week. I know this week flew by for me. I don't know if it did for you guys or not, but this week just was gone in an instant. But I got a lot of cool things I want to tell you guys about, so I want to kick things off with some news about Tiger Chen's next film called Impulse. As of right now, there isn't really a lot of information on this film. Some people think it may be a sequel to Man of Tai Chi. Other people saying it's an entirely different film. To be honest with you, I'm fine with whatever. Man of Tai Chi was a good film, but it wasn't really as great as some people think it was or wanted it to be. I don't believe. I really wish they would have used that dynamic camera system, but they kind of got rid of it at the end. But that's okay. The thing is that Tiger did a great job in that film, and I really hope that this kind of pushes his career in the new and exciting direction. He's been behind the scenes for so long that I really think it's time for him to shine, and I was impressed with what he did in Man of Tai Chi. So Impulse may or may not be a sequel, but regardless of that, I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on it, and hopefully you guys will too, because believe me, Tiger Chen is the real deal, and I think he's going to be doing some really cool things, if not making some jaws drop in the process. So be sure to keep your eye out for that. All right, next up, though, we have a trailer for a film called Yasmin, and it is a Silat-based martial arts film, which doesn't surprise me too much. I figured that somebody would be focusing more on Silat after Marantau and the Raid kind of showcased it the way that it did. So you've got a pure Silat film, and it kind of gives me a Karate Kid vibe, and I know there's a lot of films that give me that Karate Kid vibe, but the whole aspect of it, a young girl who wants to learn martial arts, and there's so many things opposing her in her journey, and I think that's a really interesting way to take it. And, you get to see the character grow and develop and become a true fighter. And martial arts isn't always about, the actual fighting part. It's about developing as a person, which I think is very, very essential. And you've got those little Bruce Lee quotes in there in the film. So I think you'll be happy with what's going to happen in Yasmin. But I want to check it out. I really do. I hope that it's going to be as good as the trailer promises. Some people were saying the trailer was too spoiler heavy, but I didn't really get that. But I guess if you're worried about spoilers, don't watch it. Some trailers give away more than others, but this one really didn't feel like it gave away a ton of plot, unless it just went right over my head, which it may have. But anyways, be sure to give it a look. Let me know what you guys think. All right, next up, I had a couple trailers for some Korean films. One called No Tears for the Dead. Now, this one isn't necessarily a martial arts film, and I kind of hesitate whenever I write something that isn't martial arts related, but it was done by the director of The Man from Nowhere. So that in and of itself gives it a free pass in my book, because The Man from Nowhere, although it wasn't a martial arts film, it had some really solid fights. And I think that No Tears for the Dead is going to kick everything up a notch. So if you're curious about it, I highly suggest that you guys check out the trailer. Otherwise, there's another movie called Man on High Heels, which is more martial arts related, even though the trailer sounds really weird. I don't know how to explain it to you. It's bloody, it's brutal, it's gritty, it's Korean. You're gonna get excited. That's all I can say about it. It looks awesome. The poster's insane, the trailer's insane, and the story is kind of different. It's about a male police officer who wants to become a female through sex change, but then there's this gang that wants to get revenge on him, I guess, prior to this process happening. So I don't know how it's all going to fit together, but Koreans are really twisted sometimes. So I have some high hopes for that film, but I think both of these are going to be very solid Korean action films. And if you like Korean action, it is not dead, I promise you. Be sure to check those two trailers out, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, next up on the news side of things, we have Gina Carano starring in a new film, which is called Opium War. Now, this movie seems really weird to me, and let me tell you why. Because when you read the synopsis, it's about an astronaut who crash lands and has to smuggle stuff to get parts, I guess, for her ship. Now, how did she crash land on Earth? Or is she an astronaut and she's on a different planet? And what are they smuggling? I have no idea. But the point is, it's going to be an interesting film, especially with this plot. Or maybe the opening Opium War is kind of like, opium's already happened? I don't know. Who knows? But the thing is, Gina Carano has been doing really well, especially with her most recent film. And I truly believe that. I feel like she's grown a tremendous amount since Haywire. I was not on that bandwagon when the film first came out. I'm still not a fan of Haywire. But In the Blood was really good, and I feel like she's growing with each film that she does. Hopefully she's given more projects to work on and develops more as a person and as an actress, whether it's the dramatic side or the action side. But Opium War will be her next film, and I will be covering it as much as I can so that you guys can stay on top of the news for that as well. And lastly, for the news side of things, we had a announcement that Universal is partnering with a couple other companies to bring Rise of the Legend to an international audience. Now, I am really excited for this. I'm still not huge on remakes. Let me go ahead and clear that up. I'm not a huge person when it comes to remakes. I feel like the original should be left the way they are. But Fei-hung is one of those things where it's not really a remake because that character's been in so many different mediums that I feel like they can put a fresh spin on him and do something interesting. So hopefully they go with something gritty, something dark, which is kind of what I'm getting the feel of with the screenshots and the poster and things like that. So if that is the case, we may be seeing a very, very different side to Fei-hung, which is really interesting when you think about the fact that Jet Li took it one way, Jackie Chan went the comedy route, and then Eddie Peng is going a darker route, which I guess kind of shows you the change of the audience and how they expect the film to be now. A lot of films are a lot darker, and I don't know if they want it to be more realistic, but sometimes I feel like it's too dark to be realistic. But you watch a lot of the older films, and they're very optimistic and happy and cheerful and all these things, and they even touch on things like, like drugs or something like that in a much different way. So it's interesting to see how movies have changed, and maybe the next generation is going to be like, oh, these movies are too dark, we're going to do something a little bit lighthearted, and they will shift again. So who knows what's going to happen with that. But anyways, getting back on track, I feel like this movie could be very good if they handle it in the right way. So I'm still not just going to shrug it off and say, no, I don't want any more Fei-hung. I want to see the trailer, I want to see the fights and learn more about the film before I pass judgment on it. So, and then lastly for my review, I did a review for Once Upon a Time in China 2, given the news about the Rise of the Legend, and I felt like it was kind of a fitting review to do. There's some other movies I want to watch, and believe me, there's a ton of movies I want to watch, but being able to watch them, and review them in time has just been a huge time crunch for me. So hopefully you guys understand. But Once Upon a Time in China 2, if you guys want to know my thoughts on it, be sure to check out the review. Otherwise, I should have something new up for you guys next week as well. So that's really all I have. I do appreciate you guys' support through all of this. It's been a really, really crazy couple days, a couple weeks really. I've been trying to get a rhythm down so that I can do this channel, my website, and the Let's Play channel that I kicked off a few months ago. So trying to get it all organized. If you guys want to, feel free to check those out, but I'm not going to push them on you in any way, shape, or form. What you guys are here to do is what you guys are here to do. So I'm not going to say, hey, if you guys like me in this, you'll like me in that, nothing like that. But I do appreciate that you guys are truly awesome, and I'm going to try to continue to give you guys more content. It's just been a little bit busy. You think summertime would slow down, but no. It gets busier in the summertime. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video and for your support. That's all I got. So I guess I'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. This is K Miller, and this week has been finished.